The Tesla Cybertruck is officially delayed. Production is now set to begin sometime in the year 2022, which is obviously a pretty big window. And as for deliveries, well, they don't even want to talk about deliveries right now. And we all kind of knew this was coming. The writing has been on the wall for a few months now, but it was fun to cling on to some hope and some crazy rumors that a 2021 Cybertruck might still be possible. It's not though. So today we're going to talk about what we know is going on with the Cybertruck, and we're going to make some educated guesses on what comes next. So Tesla has updated their webpage on the Cybertruck for the first time in a long time. I think this might be the only change that has been made since the product launch in 2019, and they've updated the timing for production on all variations of the truck to just say 2022. Which is a pushback from the original timeline of late 2021 for the tri-motor version, and pretty much the same window that we were originally given for the dual and single motor editions. And honestly, this shouldn't come as a huge surprise. Tesla have been fairly upfront with the fact that they are experiencing setbacks with the production of their new battery cell, the 4680. They released a statement around their Q2 earnings call that basically said the batteries are working as expected, they perform great, they're safe, but there is still a bottleneck in production that they have not been able to work out, and that final 10% of the process is holding them back from actually being able to mass produce this battery cell. Overall, that's not bad news, it's just not great news. Bad news would be if the cells were just spontaneously combusting during the testing phase. From what we're being told, we can say that the product is good, it's just the manufacturing that is holding everything back. Which again, shouldn't come as too much of a surprise to anyone who's been following Elon Musk, because he's been repeating these words of wisdom for years now. Elon always says that building a prototype is relatively easy, but bringing a product to mass production at scale is orders of magnitude more difficult. So we've all seen the video of that prototype 4680 battery production line where everything is just whirling away and battery cells are flying by the camera, and it looks amazing. But you can't just take the facility and scale it up and call it a day. That would be great, but volume production doesn't work like that. The bigger it gets, the more problems come into play. And it's for that exact reason that the Tesla Semi project has also been pushed back to next year, even though it was expected to begin in 2021, which basically set the stage for a Cybertruck delay along with it. The Semi and the Cybertruck are two vehicles that absolutely need the 4680 battery cells in order to be practical. A vehicle like the Model Y would be amazing if it came with the 4680 cells, but it's also great just the way it is right now with the current batteries. And Elon has conceded that Tesla might just have to keep building the Model Y in its current form, even when they open up production at their new Austin plant. The plan had been that Giga Texas would begin the production of the Model Y with an all-new design that was based around the 4680 cell and structural battery pack, but that might not happen, and that's not a huge deal. Cybertruck doesn't have that luxury. The design of this truck is just not compatible with the current generation of battery cells. Let's take the Model S Plaid, for example, the current high water mark for Tesla. This car manages about 400 miles of range with the best aerodynamics in the world, low ride height, and skinny tires. The Cybertruck is a 20-foot long steel brick rolling around on 35-inch tires. If you just drop the Model S battery pack into that thing, it would be lucky to get 200 miles on one charge, and that's just not nearly good enough. And now I want to thank today's sponsor for helping us make today's video possible. Honey is the free online shopping tool that helps you find promo codes and applies them to your cart to save you money. It's incredibly easy to install and free to use. Let me show you. 1 click, 2 clicks, and done. Did you catch that? I installed Honey just there. It was that quick. Here, let me show you again in case you missed it the first time. Okay, now you have no excuses as to why you didn't download and install Honey, so let's see how it works. Today, I'm in the market for lunch. I'm hungry, okay? All I need to do is add it to my cart, and now Honey is going into Sherlock Holmes detective mode to find the best coupons. And look at that. With Honey, I just saved $5 on a $25 purchase. Honey works with over 30,000 online stores, so make sure you get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/theteslaspace. That's joinhoney.com/theteslaspace. Thank you to Honey again for sponsoring today's video. So we heard recently on Tesla's Q2 earnings call that the basic engineering of the Cybertruck architecture is now finished, and they are moving into the beta phase later this year. It's been reported that the design of the truck was just recently finalized, and that makes sense because Elon has been updating us with new Cybertruck feature announcements all year, like the no handles thing. It was only about a month ago that he said there would be rear wheel steering available, which is not the kind of feature that you can just casually drop into a car. It requires a ton of design work to make it possible. So we know that the Cybertruck team have spent a lot of time back at the drawing board this year working on a final design of the truck that will be very different from the prototype that we know today, even if it still looks mostly the same on the outside. And when they say moving into the beta phase later this year, we can assume that will involve building and testing a new prototype that is closer to the final production version. It's probably safe to assume the next Cybertruck prototype will be around 3% smaller than the first. It will have no door handles and be equipped with 4-wheel steering. Elon has waffled back and forth on the size reduction a few times, but it seems like he's settled on going ahead with shrinking the current Cybertruck by 3%. He says this is so it will fit better in the boring company tunnels, and that's great, but it will also help the truck fit better through more practical things like garages and car washes and parking spaces. So that's also good in my opinion. Elon also said that instead of door handles, your Cybertruck will just recognize you and open the door. And that's pretty neat. It ties into his whole all input is error philosophy. It makes sense for the driver, but we're still left guessing on how that works for the passenger doors. I'm sure they've got something in mind though. Then there is independent steering for the rear wheels. This is not a common feature for any kind of vehicle, but it will be available on the Cybertruck. Not sure if it's an option or a standard feature though. This is probably an advantage that has come out of the production delay. Waiting on batteries gave Tesla engineers enough time to figure out how to make the Cybertruck more competitive in the ever-expanding market of electric trucks. Since the announcement of the Cybertruck, we've seen a few more EV designs come out from the legacy automakers. We've now got the Ford F-150 Lightning EV and the GMC Hover EV. The new electric Hummer is advertised with a bunch of advanced features for off-roading performance, including 4-wheel steering. And this kind of feature is good for more than just rock crawling. It's actually really useful in driving through any kind of tight space. Steering with all 4 wheels lets the truck move sideways, kind of like a crab, and in a 20-foot long Cybertruck, this maneuvering advantage is going to make life a whole lot easier, particularly if Tesla can incorporate some of their AI tech into this feature so that it can just automatically kick in when needed and you don't have to manually switch it on and off. Okay, so we know more now about the Cybertruck than we ever have before, but there are still a few big questions that are left unanswered so far. Let's start with the windshield wipers. What are they going to do about the windshield wipers? Because we've never seen a picture of the Cybertruck with windshield wipers, and there is no lip between the frunk and the windshield where they would typically be hidden away on a normal car. They couldn't possibly just add wipers to the existing design. It would look stupid. We have seen patents from Tesla in the past couple of years that show some kind of electromagnetic blade device that could replace conventional windshield wipers. From what we can tell right now, this would be a single thin blade that would be guided by magnets across the surface of the window. The idea is that this system would create very minimal friction across the glass and would be able to cover the entire transparent surface of the windshield. And in theory, this could all be tucked away into a very small compartment when not in use because it's all magnetic and doesn't require bulky mechanical parts. While we're looking at the front of the Cybertruck, how about the frunk? I don't think we've ever seen the frunk open on the current prototype or any renderings of how it would work in theory. It wasn't really a big deal before, but now that we've seen what Ford has done with that humongous frunk on the electric F-150, it feels like they've kind of set a standard for what can be accomplished with that space. I do feel like it's not as big of a deal on the Cybertruck because they have that automated cover on the bed that makes it much more secure for storage than regular pickup trucks. But at the same time, now that I've seen Ford's design where the whole front just lifts right up, I kind of want that for the Tesla. The side mirrors are less of a mystery today, but we still have not gotten confirmation on what Tesla is doing about this one. We've heard that Tesla has a new deal with Samsung for new camera modules that will be used on the Cybertruck. I don't know where Tesla got their existing cameras from, but they're probably just some cheap generic unit. The footage is fine, but it's not particularly good looking. If Tesla is going to upgrade their cameras to Samsung units, it's presumably for a specific reason, which would be replacing the mirrors with cameras. It looks like Tesla has another year to work on lobbying the NHTSA to change their existing rules about physical mirrors on cars, and since they were able to get their weird steering yoke approved, I imagine they can get this done as well. Okay, here's one thing that has got me very anxious, and that's the price. The price for all three variations of the Cybertruck seemed too good to be true back in 2019, and today it seems absolutely insane that you could actually get one of these at the price they're advertised at. The list price of pretty much every Tesla has gone up this year, sometimes by a lot. The Model Y has gone up about $4,000, and the Model S has gone up by $10,000. So the fact that Tesla just updated the Cybertruck webpage with a new delivery date, but didn't touch the prices is very interesting. Now, this could just be them delaying the inevitable, or it could be that the Cybertruck will actually be as cheap to build as Elon has been saying. Elon Musk joked recently that if they were to build the Cybertruck right now in low volume, that each truck would cost $1 million. But at scale, Cybertruck should be one of the cheapest vehicles to build, relatively speaking. Lars Moravai, Vice President of Vehicle Engineering at Tesla, said recently, "With the Cybertruck, we are redefining how a vehicle is being made." And by that, he's referring to the exoskeleton structure. The Cybertruck isn't a bunch of small parts, all individually stamped and stuck together. It's just a few big chunks of steel that are folded into shape. Most of the body should come from just a single piece of cold-rolled stainless steel, and the frame will likewise probably just be three big chunks, the front and rear being die-casted and the middle being made mostly from batteries that are sandwiched between two more big chunks of steel. The beauty and the cost savings are in the simplicity of it all. So obviously it's not ideal that we have to wait even longer for the Cybertruck to become a real thing, but we've got much more good news than bad news here. Tesla is obviously remaining committed to building this truck, even if they have to push it back a little bit and shift priority to other projects. In the meantime, it's just a really fun vehicle to think about and speculate on. So make sure to let us know your Cybertruck theories in the comments below. I'm sure there are a few things we've missed in the video, so let's keep the conversation going down below. If you want to continue to learn about everything regarding Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, we've got 2 more video options for you on the screen to check out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for weekly content just like this.